This week's edition of NJBIA is Minding Your Business is brought to you in part by AT&T, helping family, friends, and neighbors connect in meaningful ways every day. By PSE&G, powering a future where people use less energy that's cleaner, safer, and delivered more reliably than ever. By New Jersey's community colleges, aligning education to build an innovative workforce. Find out how your business can benefit at njpathways.org. And by New Jersey Business Magazine, providing critical information needs for New Jersey's business community for more than 67 years.
Welcome to NJBIA's Mind Your Business. I'm Bob Considine. Well, it's summer and some legendary Jersey Shore businesses are making another season of memories for families. As part of our Shore Summer Series for 2025, we dropped in on XCamp in Seaside Heights, where a bunch of educators have taught kids how to hang ten for nearly 30 years, bringing waves of smiles for thousands. Have a look. So, XCamp, Joe, when did this start, this amazing project that you've been working on?
So, about 1995-6, I was still kind of transitioning from working in a retail scuba shop. I was teaching scuba. I grew up in the dive shop. And then I started substitute teaching before I got the job I'm in now at school. And my buddy and I were doing all kinds of stuff. I was taking people diving. We were doing skateboard trips.
Right.
There were no skate parks in our area. So I was renting a 54 passenger bus, taking 2 friends
Right.
and 50 kids.
Oh my gosh. And it wasn't the Partridge Family.
It wasn't. Okay. And we were overbooked every time.
Right.
So it turned into this conversation of, we're doing all this fun, cool stuff with kids. We're making some extra money. We're having fun. We're exposing kids to other things besides traditional sports,
right.
which we still do actually. And it evolved into this XCamp. The reason the name came about was, what are we going to call this extreme sports camp we're going to do? What are we going to do when we're taking all these kids surfing? And it just stuck.
Right.
And it is now XCamp. As you know, yeah, exactly.
And you've seen it grow since 1997 or 8 when this thing first started, right? Like, have you been surprised by the growth of this camp?
Yeah, I mean, 98 was the first summer that we did it the whole summer, Monday through Friday, 9 to 4. And right off the bat, we were 30 kids a day, every day. And my buddy Chris and I, and I'll talk about him a little bit in a second, we're like, wow, like we're doing this, you know? So the growth, it's actually a little bit of peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. You know, there were some years where, you know, parents didn't have the money to do extra crazy, so they'd come for a week or a couple of days. It's kind of resurged back to kids are here all summer. You know, we have kids that come a good majority of the summer. We have kids that come for solid week or 3. So the last bunch of years, and I hate to be that guy,
right?
COVID, right?
Yeah, I know. We hear a lot about that.
Right,
yeah.
And there are a lot of families that might not have been so aware of, let's get outside and do different things. And, you know, we were busy that whole summer, and we started late that summer, and we were busy. So, you know, it's been a good wave for the last, not to sound funny there, for the last 7 or 8 years. We've kind of been pretty full and busy every summer, week after week.
So when you get a kid here for the first time, is this a kid who wants to learn how to surf? Have they heard word of mouth that this is the place to go? What is the first experience for a kid coming here?
We do have a good majority of kids that are coming here to surf.
Okay.
They want to get in the water. They want to get on a board. They want to surf. We have a handful of kids or families that are, hey, we're not 100% sure. We're not really beach people. I need a babysitter.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I don't want them sitting at home on the Xbox or on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it's a good, you know, mix of, let's see what this is all about. And we're hardcore. We want to try. We want to surf. We want to become a surfer. We want to become a beach person. You know, it's pretty seamless once they get here.
Right.
And I'd say this to all our customers, all our parents. get here, right? And then the day you're here and your kid gets to experience all the counselors, all the kids, meet the regulars that are here all summer, see how we operate, walk up to lunch on the boardwalk, come back and play in the afternoon. After that, Joe, we didn't sign up for this week or this day, but if you have an open spot, and it's easy once they've gotten here once. As the summer goes on, we get busier. For that parent to say, I didn't sign up, is there you know what the drill is. Your kid's great, they've been here. Come on in, let's go. So it makes it easier for all of us.
One of the great things I see on your social media pages, your website, is just the comments from parents like, I can't believe my child can now surf. So do you like take them by the hand and get them out there? You don't just throw them out in the water?
Yeah, no. So every single morning, because we do have people that'll come in midweek, we don't necessarily have somebody here exactly from Monday to Friday. So every single morning, one of us, whether it's myself or Pete or Jill or Jess or Kevin, will take the group of kids that have shown up that day for the first time. And so part of the beauty of what we're trying to do here isn't just surf, right? We want to make good water people. We want to make kids aware of their surroundings, right? So every morning starts with, here are the conditions. Why are the conditions the way they are? What's a rip current? What do you do if you're caught in one? Why shouldn't you surf or swim alone? Don't be embarrassed to ask for help. All those kind of things. And then we go over hey, this is the nose, this is the tail, these are the rails. Why do we need fins or use or not need fins? We go over all that with them. And then, hand by hand, we will take those new kids in. And at the same time, our other counselors are already in the water with our regulars who are like, there's waves.
Yeah, and sometimes if somebody needs a push, they're getting a push.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we will literally take kids by the hand, by the board, get them out into the wherever that lineup might be for them. They might still be on the inside catching just whitewater. They might be on the outside where it hasn't broken yet and trying to get into the wave at the right spot. And we're all out there. So a lot of us will be in swim fins. We're not even on surfboards. We're out there with swim fins on, swimming back and forth, pulling kids into position, coaching kids into where they should paddle, how they should paddle, when to arch up, when to grab the rails. And I'm sure you've seen it. We're out there hooting and hollering and laughing and screaming with all of them the whole time. So,
were you a surfer growing up?
Yeah, so I grew up just on the other side of the bridge. I grew up surfing all up and down the coast and all of it. Fishing, diving, body surfing, you name it. And that's one of the things we try to get the kids involved in. Myself and my original business partner, we were high school athletes, little leaguers, high school athletes, college athletes, and we're high school coaches to this day. And, it's this all-encompassing thing. But when you're 53 years old, you don't get together with 30 other guys and have a for-real football game. But I can grab my surfboard.
Speak for yourself.
I can grab my surfboard or my swim fins or my fishing pole, and I can go to the ocean with 2 or 3 friends or no friends if it's lifeguarded. And get out there and do that kind of stuff. It's become a lifestyle, right? And so that's kind of what we're trying to say to kids and to the parents is the traditional sports are awesome. I'm the head coach of all 3 seasons of running at High School South. But doing this is something that, when you're 53 years old, I still put my head down on my pillow at night, excited about the next day. How are the conditions going to be? Are there going to be fish if there aren't waves? What am I going to get to do? And that's what we're trying to kind of get that point across of make it a lifestyle, make it another alternative, fun, healthy activity that you might be doing when you're 50 with your kids. Well
said. And your team, you mentioned you're all educators.
Yeah, so other than one of our employees, everybody's in education. And out of that group, we're also all coaches. Jill, Jess, and I, all 3 of us coach against each other in track and cross country. Pete is coaching the bowling team right now at Point Barrow, but he's coached baseball and other sports. It lends itself, and it's funny, and I hate to say it sometimes, kids will come back at 30, 35 years old, and I'm like, you got to remind me your name. Because there are 30,000 kids that I've been involved with since I started coaching in the Shore Conference in 1997. We started doing this year, full-time in 1998. I've been at the same school district since January of 99. it's a lot of kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of names.
And you mentioned Pete. We should mention Pete because Pete is kind of the resident photographer here. And what is great, the extra bonus you get as a child who's or a kid who's surfing is your picture.
Yeah.
You're going to get a picture of yourself surfing. It's amazing how he does this.
Yeah. So Pete, you know, the whole GoPro thing. I'm not plugging any companies here, but the whole GoPro thing came after us. And in the beginning, you know, we would take a real camera and try and get a couple of decent photos and all that. And then the GoPro thing took off. And, you know, Pete is very in tune, way more than I am, with social media, the photo thing, the technology and the camera. So we went out and we bought a GoPro, one of the first generations, and he just took off with it.
Mm-hmm.
So he is in the water every day, taking waves on the head,
surfboards.
Getting the shot. He's also coaching and pushing kids at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really has become a thing. The kids try to get a wave past Pete. They want to talk to him and say, hey, I'm going to do something kooky. And they know each night Pete goes home, and some nights he has to go through 300 photos.
Wow.
And he picks a handful of them.
Yeah.
He puts them up. He'll put a wave of the day. He'll put a wipeout of the day on there. And then the next day, the kids are like, I made it.
Right.
I was on the page last night.
That's
or
great.
I had wipeout of the day.
Right.
So, you know, that part of it is awesome and it's fun. And it's cool for us because, you know, we sit down sometimes at, you know, Christmas break. We're all at, you know, hanging out with each other at someone's house, and we pull up photos from 20 years ago.
Wow.
We look awesome 20 years ago. I don't know about now, but it's so funny to see, like, wow, there we are, so much younger, and that photo to yesterday's photo are almost like nothing's changed.
Right.
And it's awesome. Yeah, it's fun.
And what have you gotten out of this, Joe, after, 27, 28 years of this now? I mean, what do you get out of it?
I will say this, I definitely have stayed in shape, more so than just doing what I do, running or whatever. You know, what I've gotten out of it is the whole lifestyle of I'm out here doing it, I'm still enjoying it. My children came up working and playing and working with me now. And seeing kids that started as little kids, got older, came back, played with us or worked for us, and now have their own families that are, you know, starting to come out and show up and do things. And so, you know, when a kid comes to the beach with their 3-year-old and was like, hey, Joe, remember me? I was at camp in 1999. That part of it's awesome.
Okay, thanks to Joe Chiarello, Pete Torella, Jill Tierney, and the rest of the XCamp team for the access. We'll be back with more from our Shore Summer Series right after this.
Did you know advanced power strips with built-in plug load management features cut all power to devices that still draw energy when turned off? Plus, there are rebates for switching. Believe it. For more, connect at bizsave.pseg.com, your trusted partner in energy efficiency.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its scenes while I was sleeping. And whispered in the sound of silence.
Welcome back to NJBIA's Minding Your Business as we focus on longtime summer businesses at the Jersey Shore. We now head to Thundering Surf Waterpark on Long Beach Island, the first of its kind in New Jersey, where for nearly 50 years, owner Chris Mesanko has been delivering thrills and gills for generations of families. Have a look.
So Chris, 50 years here at Thundering Surf Waterpark, this beautiful facility. As we're walking around it, I kept wondering myself, do you ever think back to when this place first opened and what it looked like, or even like a slide that's not here anymore? What do you think about it?
They're fond memories because in the beginning there was nothing, and I had taken a ride down to Myrtle Beach and I saw the very first water slide in the world.
Really?
And I couldn't wait to get home. I came home as fast as I could, and I told my dad, I want to do one of these. And he thought I was out of my mind because he had never heard of a water slide.
Right.
And so it took me almost a year to find the right architect, to design it, and then, of course, find some money.
Right.
And I was very young. I was 23 at the time.
23 years
when
old.
When I came up with the idea. Yeah.
Wow. And so you were in South Carolina, is that what you?
South Carolina, Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. So, and what was your reaction to see? Were there long lines at this water park?
The lines were around the block.
Really?
I saw it in June. When I came back again in August, there was 2 of them.
Right.
And they were next to each other, and the lines were super long on both of them. They're no longer there.
Right.
But those were the very, very first, very rudimentary, very like archaic.
Primitive.
Primitive. That's the
Yeah.
right word. Yeah.
And it was, I know you were a surfer growing up. Was surfing part of the motivation for starting your own business anyway?
I grew up on the beach,
Right.
literally. My address was 1511 Boardwalk
Right.
in Seaside Heights. So I didn't have to get out of bed in the morning to look at the ocean. The pier was right over to my right. So my brother and I would get up in the morning, we could check out the waves, and that became the most important part of my life,
Right.
really.
And opening a business like this would allow you some time to still surf. Is that
That's
correct?
the reason for opening the business. So if I had a seasonal business
Right.
and it was 100 days in the season, on September 15th, I was out of here to the North Shore to go surfing for the next 9 months.
Right.
That was my life.
So going back, before we go forward, what was the state of water parks back in the late 70s? And did it just have this huge surgence, and did technology change quite a bit from
So
day
in
one?
77, there was only a concrete slide. There were no fiberglass.
Concrete.
Only concrete.
How did that feel?
It was not very forgiving. We had a lot of accidents. But in those days, nobody sued anybody.
Right.
But that was the only option. There were no fiberglass whatsoever. In 79, a guy made a fiberglass slide. It was really rough, but he made one. And it was too rough for me to like it. But in 1980, Fred Langford and Cape May, he came up with a really good water slide. And right after that, I immediately looked at fiberglass as the future. And in 1982, we replaced all the concrete and we put fiberglass.
So from 77 to 82 is kind of when you had a new start, I guess. to
Yes.
that.
And there was no water park per se. There was a water slide.
Right.
Nobody had expanded beyond the water slide.
Right.
So the term water park didn't exist at the time because there wasn't anything beside that.
And so you started at that point in the 80s expanding it, right?
Correct.
To be more than just water slides,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And why did you do that? Was it completely necessary?
Well, the industry was starting to look at other things to bring people together, families particularly.
Right.
So the next thing was a children's play structure. Rick Briggs designed this thing, or SES, the name of the company, and he built this play structure for kids. And that's now going to bring families together. Right. So, and I wanted to be in a family business. So we immediately went out and purchased one for this park. I was the first one in the country to buy a family play structure for kids. Very first.
And so now you're getting the families, right?
Right.
And then you're getting repeat business,
Yeah.
I'm sure. That's
Repeat business was always there.
okay.
We always had repeat business. But now we're not just have teenagers riding, now we got families coming.
Right. So I want to make sure you were part of the World Water Park Association Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So to get that, do you have to have this huge learning curve of learning how different water parks operate around the country, what new technology happens, and how far has it really come in 50 years?
Well, it's unrecognizable from where it was to where it is. And in so many areas, we didn't have anybody at all looking at us. No industry, no state of New Jersey, we just were doing it like the Wild West.
Right.
And so there was no regulations whatsoever. Now there's 26 regulations that I got to follow. So the industry is completely, but in a good way.
Okay.
It's done for safety.
Yes.
And that's where you want to be, because back in the early 80s, you had places like Action Park or Accident Park.
Right. Traction Park.
Traction Park. That was bad for business.
Yeah.
And we needed to really make them a lot more safe for families. So that is a really big change. But also, as companies started developing new things and new technology, to make it really a water park, not just a water slide.
Right.
That's when the lazy river came in and the racer slide, later on the flow rider, and on and on and on. Things kept, they expanded their purview and items to put in the water park.
Hey, when we were walking around earlier, you were talking about like when you're updating here, a lot of stuff goes out and you're just bringing new stuff in. I can't imagine the cost. I mean, you have to look at the ROI on stuff like that. You could possibly say, you know what, we'll just stick with this another year and not make this investment, but you do it anyway, right?
I do it because I love the business. My wife and I have been in the business our whole lives. I love the business, and I love the reaction I get from when people come into the park and they see all the stuff we do. And I'm not a milkman, meaning I don't milk the cow till the cow drops over and get another cow. We want to keep the cow alive,
right? And
therefore we want to continuously upgrade and change and improve, not just from all standpoints, safety as well as family-oriented things,
right,
and a longer stay. The longer stay, the more money you can make because the people are staying there buying things other than just a ticket.
Right. And you have the adventure golf, 2 courses, correct?
Yes.
So, do you become a miniature golf expert as the years go on too?
Yes, well, that's interesting because I was at the amusement show in Orlando.
Right.
And the very first adventure golf was being built on International Drive. I'd never seen one before. And I pulled right into the driveway and I met who was building it. He told me the guy who owns this is in Michigan. I got his number. I flew right out to Michigan. Really? I met the guy in Traverse City. And the next day I came back to New Jersey, started construction on an adventure golf course in Seaside Heights.
Right. And what do the kids like better? Do they like the water or the golf?
Oh, it's at the end of the year, believe it or not, the participants here and here are almost identical year after year.
Really?
It's really almost exactly the same amount of participants.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And what about food? When did that come into the picture? Was that fairly early on?
Pretty early on,
okay.
Yeah. Because if I want to, again, keep people here longer, you want to give them something to eat, you stay. And that led into other things to keep people here longer, like the cabanas.
Right.
The cabana business has been now a very integral part of what we do because now people can prop their stuff down in a private spot.
Yep.
We have luxury ones. We have next people, another layer down. You can stay all day. You can stay for 3 hours, and you have service there. We have service from the girls, and they go out, and they bring your food to you. So you can lay in the lounge chair. You can go on the internet.
Right.
You can hang there, and
I'm sure some parents would like just to relax while their kids are on the slides.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a big draw.
Yeah,
for
we
them.
have couches in them, and we have chairs and tables.
You have you should get television up there now.
All right. They'll never leave.
I wanted to talk about the Flow House, which is right here.
Right.
Are you surprised how much these things have taken off around the country?
Yeah,
And this kind of goes back to your surfing thing too.
It really does.
Yeah.
Surfing's always been a part of everything I do. That's why it's named this. But it's always been my theme and my driving force in the background. And so I have a friend, Tom Lockefeld, who invented this. We had been talking about it for years, about making a standing surfing wave. And he's in San Diego, and I'm here. Even though we would talk and collaborate, he made it happen.
Yeah.
So as soon as he made the one in San Diego, I flew right out there and I wrote it. And I said, Tom, I got to put one in New Jersey.
Right.
And so I immediately came out here and we put it in.
You didn't wipe out, did you?
A lot of time. Listen, in San Diego, I broke my shoulder on it. The first ride I took,
Right.
I flipped up and I landed right on the top of my shoulder.
That's not a very auspicious
That was
beginning.
not a good start.
No. As we're talking, as we're here on beautiful Long Beach Island, the Beach Haven section, what does it mean to be part of the community here for so long, for decades? When people talk about going to LBI, this is like one of the top 5 spots they talk about going. Does that mean anything to you?
It's everything for me. It really, really is. I mean, Long Beach Island, I don't think should be without a water park, an amusement park, and surf light theater. These, of course, the beach. But these things are really important for people to come here, families to enjoy,
Right.
and of course shopping too. It's a really good shopping area. So
And cars.
yes. And by the way, we have free parking here. It's the only place in New Jersey with free parking.
We noticed that.
Okay.
We won't.
Really important. We fight that every year.
Yeah, we won't be expensing that. Don't worry.
Okay. But yeah, we feel really integral part of Beach Haven and the community. And I love that because and we get along really well with the town and the town fathers. You know, to whatever they ask me to do, I do. And we have a really good working relationship.
I wanted to ask Chris about this being such a family business.
Yeah.
You started this with your wife.
Yes.
And you've had so many family members, sons, and everybody working here. What does that mean to you as well?
I did this long term for them. I thought I could create a legacy and pass it on to them, which is still in my brain. My son chose a different path, and he's really happy what he does. And my daughter chose another path, and she's really happy.
Right.
But it's still here for them, if you know, going forward.
They have a change of
And
heart.
my son worked here for 15 years. My daughter worked here for 30.
Right.
So they've always been a part. And now my granddaughter's working here.
Yeah. Lena.
Lena.
We love Lena. Last question, Chris. I think you're coming up on 50 years. You're going to make 50, right? You're not going to skip out before the big anniversary. Right?
Absolutely not. There's no, you couldn't drag me out.
Yeah. And what do you think your legacy here is? I mean, 50 years is a long time to be impacting family lives and the community. What do you?
My legacy is that families came here generationally and made memories. I love people coming up to me and telling me those stories. That they came here, the grandkids came here, and they're bringing their kids here. It's beautiful. It's that part of being here. I don't know if I can leave it alone.
All right, thank you to Chris, Julie, Elise, and Lena Mesanko and the entire Thundering Surf team for allowing us to drop in. And thank you for joining us on NJBIA's Mind Your Business. We'll see you next time.